This week on Maker Update, a low-resolution display you can't take your eyes off of, turning trash to treasure, a snap-fit Cyberdeck, and the internet of solder paste. Hello and welcome back to Maker Update, the show where library means code as well as it does books. I'm Tyler Weingartner and I hope you're all doing great. We've got a super fun show for you, so let's check out the project of the week. A while back, Jay from Engineezy created this machine that makes pixel art using marbles. And for OpenSauce 2025, he's making another one, only this one is smaller so he can wear it. It's an 11 by 11 grid of just black and white marbles, so it is simpler. But that concept of simplicity goes right out the window by making it portable. One of the first challenges he takes on is printing the tubes that the marbles will travel through. This needs to be more of a closed system so he doesn't lose any stray marbles as he's moving around. The tubes are a combination of flexible TPU with rigid PLA for the ends. Because TPU won't bond to the PLA, he needs to add these interlocking details so they will stay together. That lack of bonding also came in handy when he realized he could support the TPU tubes with PLA support material, making them easy to remove. He's repurposing the hopper system from the larger machine, which uses an auger to feed the marbles into the distribution tree. The auger also agitates the marbles so they don't get jammed up. However, he's redesigning it to make it smaller, so it better fits onto the jacket. To make sure he's only releasing one marble at a time into the distribution system, he's designed this double gate that's operated by a servo. In fact, microservos make up most of the moving parts of the distribution system. To make sure that no marbles get lost after the picture is complete and the marbles are returned to the hopper, he made these custom flexible ducts out of plastic sheeting. He seamed them together by welding the pieces using a soldering iron. The other remarkable thing about this project is that he pulled this off in just 6 days, with a short family vacation in there taking up a few of those days. But when you have a deadline looming, that can be a powerful motivator. That and being able to share your projects in person with others. More projects. Laura Kampf recently built this traffic light lamp entirely out of recycled and found materials. She's recently been doing a series of projects called The Janitor of LA, where she makes stuff out of the trash that she finds on her walks around Los Angeles. And this time, she's exploring the LA River. To her surprise, the pickings were actually quite slim. Between the scrappers hauling choice stuff away in trucks and the nearby homeless folks using the rest, there wasn't much for her to do but consider the ethics of the project. But as luck would have it, she happened across a maintenance crew replacing a walk signal, and they were just going to throw the old unit into the trash. That is, until she took it off their hands. The lamp itself is fairly simple, wiring up the walk signal to a switch and placing it in this cabinet that she brought from her old shop in Germany. So far, she's been using it to play red light, green light games with her daughter, but also loves how it looks and the story it tells for her own sake. Sector 7 has a unique take on the classic Cyberdeck concept. His design is centered around this dual screen display, and that it should be almost entirely 3D printable and easy to assemble. His commitment to these last 2 points is remarkable. You really only need one hand to count the number of times he picks up a screwdriver. Everything else is 3D printed and snap-fit connections. He designed a few custom PCBs to relocate access to the GPIO pins from the back of the unit. Both screens can be easily rotated between portrait and landscape orientations, and both screens can also be folded down for portability. It both looks great and is highly functional. And from Penelope Bulnick, we have an Instructable on how she created these 3D printable Tamagotchi-style fidget clickers. These are a 3D printable, pocketable key fob with a single mechanical keyboard switch and a custom keycap. Simple, but if you're the sort of person who loves the actuation of this style of key switch, there's nothing like them. Her design includes a few different options for customization, as well as a few choices for the keycaps for multicolor printers. Time for some tips and tools from Uncle Jessy. We have a guide on how to design and print 3D printed cityscapes. The trick to this technique is using the website map2model.com, which allows you to generate 3D geometry based on map data. He shares some great tips on adjusting the features it highlights, how to get the best results for your print, and how to set things up so features like water aren't part of the print at all. That way you can mount the print to a separate background. Best of all, the site is completely free. Check it out. Stephen Hawes wants to make it so you never have to use a solder stencil ever again. He's developed a web-based tool for the Lumen P&P pick-and-place machine that will deposit solder at all the contacts on your board so you don't have to. It's running OpenCV in the background and tracking the fiducial markers on the board so it can determine where your board needs solder and then puts it there. And once it has a layout of your board, it can automatically perform a visual calibration for batch jobs. It's incredible stuff. And from Cut Transform Glue, he shares a technique on how to use double-sided tape to create extremely sharp panel lines on his models. He's using the tape to temporarily adhere thin pieces of styrene to his models that he can then use as a guide for his blade to scribe lines. He's using cuticle tools, but you can do this with any sharp blade. There's also a quick tip for using double-sided tape to attach 3D printed stencils for adding logos to your models. Lastly, he shares a teardown of a CD-ROM drive to harvest the precious greeblies stored within. For this week's DigiKey Spotlight, we have another invention from the Tomorrow Lab team, a giant-sized digital caliper that they're calling the X-Caliper. Like with so many of their projects, they're tasked with creating an invention based around a technology tool, and in this case, it's a precision rotation sensor. The sliding mechanism is based around a piece of 2060 aluminum extrusion, with one of the V-wheels being responsible for the rotation detection. From there, it's just a matter of coding to turn the rotation into distance measuring. There's even a button to re-zero the caliper for taking relational measurements. Always fun to take something small and supersize it while keeping its functionality, and this is no exception. Alright, and that is going to do it for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. A reminder, as always, that you can get more info about every single one of these projects by following the links down in the description. While you're there, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and hit subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Huge thanks to DigiKey for making this show possible, and to you for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.